ready to learn AI in 2 slides or less? All right, here we go. Now, you might think, I don't need to know how this works technically. I promise if you do, it's going to change the way that you interact and engage with it. First of all, let's talk about the layers of AI, because there's a lot of big, fancy words that are coming out with AI that I think are really helpful to know. The first one is artificial intelligence. Everything has AI now. Everything. I'm pretty sure that if I was to go in and want to take a bath right now, my bathtub would be AI-enabled. I don't even know what that looks like. I would be excited about it because that's how I am. But the idea that AI is everywhere or that AI is new, not so much. AI, artificial intelligence, just means that it's any technology that operates in a human-like manner. That's all that matters. And AI has been around for ages. 25 years I spent in enterprise technology. We were using AI long before it was a buzzword. The next one is machine learning. This is this idea of experiential learning, that this technology platform can actually improve on its own over time based on what it sees and what it experiences. Not new. Who played chess with a computer when they were a kid? A few people. It got smarter, didn't it? Didn't take very long. It was beating me constantly, really frustrating. But that was an example of machine learning. Not new. Been around for ages. Then you get deep learning. Deep learning is all about connecting the dots. That's how this generative AI technology works, by connecting the dots. We can demonstrate the concept here right now. Are you up for it? Perfect. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say a word. You tell me the next word you think I might say. Easy? This is all going to be a lot less painful for you if you participate. Okay. There is, was, could be, okay. There was an, a what? Elephant? There was an elephant? Wow, random. Okay. There was an elephant. There was an old, what do we hear over here? Lady, house, what? Car, an old car. There was an old lady who? Lived in a shoe. Who said lived in a shoe? Why? Why did you say that? Memory, because you've heard it a million times before. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. You connected the dots. I gave you the part of a story, you finished that story. That's connecting the dots. Not new. We've been doing that for ages in technology. What is new is natural language processing. This is the part that has made AI the big news that it is right now. Because for the first time ever, we are able to communicate and collaborate with a technology platform without having to know how to code. Without having to have our own little nerd in our pocket. Now we can just talk to it and it tells us what we need to know. We can have a conversation with it, and that's why you're seeing this all over the map now. Because now, regular sales professionals like you can have real conversations and real value from AI. Pretty amazing, right? Well, that just made you the most interesting person at your dinner party. Okay, all right, but how does all that magic come together? There are 3 ingredients that determine exactly what you get from AI, from all of these generative AI tools. The first ingredient is the data itself. What information is it using to give us information and responses and reply? It could be static data. For example, where do you think most of the data in AI today comes from? From the internet. Very good. Anybody think there might be some crap in the internet? Yeah, could be. Now, if we get really specific, does anybody know where kind of the greatest portion of the information, like what one place the majority of data from AI comes from right now? Not Wikipedia. Reddit. Anybody terrified by that? Has anybody been to Reddit? It's like a little black hole of conspiracy theories and personal opinions and here's what I think. Right? So a lot of information coming from some very questionable sources. So we've got static data. We also have new data. I want you to go out and look at this website. I want you to go look at this prospect's information. I might also have public and private information, right? A combination of what's available to everybody. But I might also have my own siloed data. So history of my RFPs, history of my client accounts, my CRM system. I might have that kind of personal data in there as well. So we've got the data. That's part of the foundation. Then we have the system itself. And the system itself is which large language model or which tool or technology platform are you using. So you could get one answer from ChatGPT, you could get a different answer from Claude, you could get a different answer from, Perplexity. It doesn't matter what they are. The way I like to think about it is that data is the library at a university. And this system, that system that you're talking about, the algorithms and the rules, that's the degree. That's what course they're studying, what university they went to. You get a very different experience of a textbook whether you went to, whether you were getting a degree or studying like public speaking versus if you were studying software engineering. So it's the lens at which we look at that data through. The third element is you. The prompts, the instructions, the guidance that we give it. This tells it how to filter that information, bring it together, and present it back to us. If there's a flaw or an unequal delivery of those things, then what ends up happening is that you get some variable results. If I have limited data, if I don't have enough information, I'm not going to get very good output. If I have bad data, let's talk about your CRM systems. Now, as somebody who used to be in sales, we all know, don't we, that the CRM system can be questionable at best, right? But if we have bad data that we're basing it on, we can potentially get bad output. If we have biased data, anybody think the internet might be a little biased? Yes, absolutely, right? If we have biased data, we get biased output. If we have unclear instructions, I get unclear output. If I have bad algorithms, if I'm using the wrong tool for the wrong job, I get the wrong kind of output. All of this, different algorithms give me different answers. So these ingredients, depending on how you mix them together, can make a totally different meal. Knowing all of that will help you to understand that when we talk about AI, you get different results depending on how you mix up your ingredients. And if you're missing any of these ingredients, for example, you're not giving it good prompts or instructions, you're going to end up with not great output.